Hey, thank you for watching this video. This is the first one. This is really the maiden episode, and I just want to thank you for stopping in. So, what is this? What am I doing, and why? A little bit about me if you've never met me or don't know anything about me. My name is Tyler Woolston, and I am 26 years old. I am a professor at Vanguard University. I am an opera singer. I've sung in LA. I'll be singing in San Diego, making my San Diego debut in August. I've sung in Berlin as Tamino. I did a young artist program out there, and number 5, I really like fitness. I guess 6 would be that I see a lot going on in the world, and I feel like I've got a very unique viewpoint on how the world works and how I've kind of found success thus far. And I've had people ask me questions. This is kind of coming from students, but also from other professionals, I guess, that are in the same field. So that's me. I'm also married. I'm married to Sarah Dexheimer. She's still trying to change her last name to Woolston. Thanks, IRS. So the title of this video is opera dead? Or rather, is it dying? And I've gotten this question a lot. And whenever I tell people that I am an opera singer, they go, "Oh, cool, that's super awesome. I've never met someone like that." And I usually get a lot of questions like, why don't you do other music? Or what else do you do? Or there's lots of, and I'll get into all the frustrating questions. That might be a video for another time. But in short, no, I don't think opera is dead. I would say it's dying in the sense that it's not people don't listen to it a lot. Pop music has taken over. Other forms of music have taken over, rap's taken over. But as far as opera being dead, no. It's very alive. There's lots of regional companies that are making their way around. LA is huge. There's probably at least like 10 to 15 small repertory companies. It's amazing. I will say that there's definitely a decline, and that's mainly because people are getting older. The people that go, they're not going as much, or they're really struggling to find a different crowd. And I've done a few shows with POP, Pacific Opera Project here in LA, and they are on the front end of trying to be accessible to more people, because if opera isn't accessible, it's like it is gonna die, because a lot of millennials or Gen X, or a lot of us, one, don't have a lot of money, but two, like, our attention spans are pretty small, and so you kind of have to find a way to get people in the seats and get people interested in it again, because as an art form, it is a lot of people see it as elitist, or they see it as highbrow, they see it as God knows what. And I guess me sharing just a little bit about how I grew up will actually kind of help maybe someone else who doesn't know it a ton, or wants to learn more, or is intimidated by the art form. Because I didn't grow up listening to operas. I didn't grow up listening to really classical music at all. I grew up in a small town in Newberg, Oregon, for about 15 years, the first 15 years, and there was no classical music really that I was, at least I was in band and I was singing in choir during school, but was never introduced to opera. And it wasn't until I moved to Idaho, classical music wasn't, a huge thing. It wasn't really taught in schools. We didn't get any outreaches. We didn't talk to opera singers. We didn't talk to people who went to for music. And I originally I became a choir nerd. I got injured playing basketball my senior year. And really we didn't have a band, so I just went straight into singing. And a lot of people encouraged me to go on, and it was something I loved doing. And I ended up meeting my teacher, Dr. Joni Prado, at Vanguard, where I teach now. We had this thing in New York with some high school choirs. Anyway, heard her sing, knew if I could just get out here in California, that I could, make the next step. And so that's all I did. I put my effort into that. Literally grew up singing Michael Bublé, Frank Sinatra, Rat Pack, crooner. Lived off of Stevie Wonder and jazz. Blue-Eyed Soul, that's really what I loved singing, and I still do. But it wasn't until, started my sophomore year at Vanguard, when I was probably about 19, that I really started singing my first aria, and I don't even really remember. It was probably from the 24, 26 Italian songs. And something clicked. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't sing it. And I remember getting so frustrated, and I was super competitive. I still am. And I thought, I want to be able to sing this. I want to be able to do this and do this well. Because before that, I was thinking about conducting and choral conducting and maybe, composing, I was all over the place. Her studio, that I was really challenged by something. And I don't take lightly to losing. And so I committed myself to figuring out how to do this. And at the time I was still a baritone, kind of like a bari tenor. And I had to switch techniques, and I had to figure out how to sing tenor, and now I'm singing super high stuff, which is that's a God thing. Just finding my voice and being able to really do it and get paid to do it, which is awesome. Anyway, when I realized how much time and effort it would take to become an opera singer, I knew it was the only thing that I could do, because it was singing. It was the one thing I loved, and it was the hardest thing that I could do. And then as I continued, I fell in love with the characters. I fell in love with the roles that I would play. I fell in love with the people that I was in opera scenes with. I fell in love with directors, and I fell in love with acting. I fell in love with the whole thing. I fell in love with the spectacle of it. And I realized that this was probably the highest art form that you could probably achieve, marrying the greatest physical instrument that you could possibly muster, the human body, the human voice, and acting on a grand scale, and not just acting, but dancing, and kind of creating this hodgepodge of amazing, overwhelming musical context. Whereas really with an opera score, with a full symphony, when you mix that with the acting and the drama, the music, it's just, there's nothing else like it. And it's breathtaking when someone has complete and total command of their instrument in a moment where you are hanging on pins and needles for them to express. And with something like opera, it's overwhelming to see that kind of talent in person, and to be witness to hold a theater of 2,000, 3,000 people captive there's no other feeling like it. As far as music goes, it is the highest form for the voice. That no one disputes. But I think if you're a very good actor, and if you can kind of dance, if you've got a great production team, if you've got a fantastic director, it is one of the only things in life that can change a person from before to after when they go through that process of seeing a show, because it's overwhelming in all of the best ways to see an opera that communicates to who you are, that communicates to loss, to love, to joy, to accomplishment, to utter defeat, to death, to life. It's everything that these great composers figured out how to get in their music. Personally, I think that it's the best. I think there's nothing else that really rivals it. Now is a chance where I want to open it up to whoever wants to watch my videos, whoever wants to subscribe. If you want more content like this where I sit in front of the camera and I talk to you about things that I like, how opera is super important, I find that there's no one really on YouTube talking about like a current career. And not only that, but I'm kind of doing two. I teach professionally and I sing professionally, and it's really difficult. And so if you're out there, you do the same thing, I'd love to hear from you. I know my students ask me questions all the time or want to. And so this is kind of geared in an educational way. But also, I don't want to be limited to just music questions. And I can answer theory, I can answer voice things, I can answer how I take care of my voice, how I take care of my body. Super into fitness as well. So I'm planning on making a couple videos about how fitness has changed my singing, as well as what I've learned from being healthy, and what not to do, and how do you combine those two worlds of health and singing. But yeah, I want to open it up. I want you to, every YouTuber does this, so now I'm gonna do it because now I guess I'm a YouTuber. Comment below and subscribe to this if you find this content cool, interesting. I'd love to hear from anyone out there. I'd also like to open it up to mental health and philosophy or politics, anything that anyone has a question on. Thank you for checking out we just cleaned yesterday and it's already messy. Yeah, thank you for stopping in, and let me know if this is something you enjoy. If there's any feedback would be great. Likes, comments, dislikes, whatever. It just helps me understand how to do this better. This is, my maiden voyage. So this is Professor Tyler signing out.